Welcome again to another one of our interesting programs here. This is your Pastor Peter Christian Hessing, and welcome again to our interesting, motivating programs. And the reason why I've been doing these programs here on the internet is trying to make peace in the world, bring the peoples together, bring Americans, Russians, Chinese, North Koreans, and South Koreans, and Arabs and Jews and Christians and Muslims, Africans, African Americans, Jamaicans, Jamaican Americans, Barbadians, Trinidadians, Cubans, Haitians, Mexican, Argentinian, Brazilians, British, French, Germans, Chinese, all the peoples of the world, Australians. Bring all the peoples of the world together. And I keep repeating this, that the Russian word for peace is minya. The Arabic word for peace is aman. And of course we have paz, which is the Spanish word for peace. The Swahili word for love is penda. Now, we're going to be doing a lot on trying to bring Christians and Muslims and Jews together and so forth. I'm a Christian. I believe in God and I believe in Jesus. But I was able to study the Bible and the Quran. I think that some of the problems is that a lot of Christians don't have the opportunity to even read the Quran or study the Quran. And a lot of Muslims and people who believe in Islam, they don't have the opportunity to read the Bible and read the Christian scriptures and so forth. But as I have been saying, I am not the smartest person in the world. I'm not the smartest person in the world. Much people much smarter than me. I was, as I said, was lucky to get into Harvard. I'm a patented inventor. We now have to deal with preventing nuclear war, building a 24/7 system of monitoring and inspections of all the nuclear weapons in the world by the International Atomic Agency to prevent nuclear war, and we have to have nuclear disarmament there. I told you we had invented this expanding missile system that can, absorb nuclear weapons and disarm them and send them back. Send them. If they came from Russia, we'd send them back to Russia. If you came from China, we would send them back. If they came from North Korea, we would send those nuclear missiles back there or disarm them. So we have technology now to do that. I really want to focus on, we're going to be doing some more on the Middle East, bringing together Christians and Muslims and Jews together there. And I think there's a misunderstanding between Islam people and the Muslims and Christianity and also in Jews. I was looking to study the Quran, and I was starting to find out that the Quran was written by Muhammad, and it is really based on the Bible. Muhammad wrote the Quran, you say 600 years after Christianity, and Muhammad actually told the Arabic people that they would have to accept the Christians and the Jews, because Judaism had the teachings of God for probably nearly 2,000 years before the Quran was written there. And the Quran really, I was shocked to find out that the Quran supports Christianity. There is a Maryam in the Quran which tells about the birth of Jesus there. And there I want to start also with, there's a chapter 6 there in Al-Anan, that's in verse 55, that says, "And when those who believe in our signs come to thee, say, peace be unto you." So the Quran supports Christians, it supports Jews. It is not against those. The Quran is against atheists. It's against people who do not believe in God. And I was listening to President Obama the other day, and he brought out an important part about the Quran, is that the Quran teaches that you cannot kill a person who believes in God. If you kill a person who believes in God, it is like killing humanity. And if you save somebody, it's like saving humanity. So the Quran teaches that, you have to accept believers. Muhammad taught them that they would have to accept all the believers. In the very first, one of the very first or second surahs, the Quran has 114 surahs. And in probably the second surah, the Al-Baqarah, it says here in the verse 136, and they say, be ye Jews and Christians, then you will be rightly guided. And it goes on. Nearly every part of the Quran is based on the Bible. Here it says in the Al-Anon here, it lists all the people in the Bible. An argument we gave to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Noah, Solomon, Job, Joseph, Moses, and Aaron, and that they are those who do good and be guided by Zechariah and John and Jesus and Elias. And it has the Miriam in the Quran that tells about the birth of Jesus, just like in the Bible. And it says, in the name of Allah, the gracious and merciful. This is the account of the mercy of the Lord shown to his servant Zechariah when he called on him, his Lord, above indeed to become there. Zechariah tells him that tells God that his wife is barren and he wants to have a son there. And he says, and I fear my relations after me and my wife is barren, so grant me from myself as a successor. God said, O Zechariah, we give thee glad tidings of a son whose name shall be Yahweh. And it goes on in the Miriam that talks also of Mary, and relate the story of Mary as mentioned in the book when she withdrew from her people to an eastern place. And then we sent an angel to her, and he appeared to him there at the well, and she said, I seek refuge with the grace of God. The angel said to her, I am only a messenger of the Lord, and I may give thee glad tidings of a righteous son. She said, how can I have a son when no man has touched me? There I have been there. And the angel said, thus shall be that you shall. So she conceived and she withdrew with him to a remote place, and the pains of childbirth came upon her, and she came there. They say she came to, here they put it, she came to a palm tree there. And this is talking about the birth of Jesus. And there said to her there, shake thou thyself the trunk of the palm tree, it will drop upon thee fresh ripe dates, so eat and drink and be cool, and so forth there. So it's telling about the birth of Jesus. And Jesus said, after he was conceived, how can we talk to one who is the child of the praise? So here about Jesus said, I am a servant of Allah and has given me the book and has made me a prophet. So he's telling you about the birth of Jesus. So we're going to be doing more on Islam, bringing